Hello and welcome to another edition of New Frontiers with me, Helen, with Snoop and Star. Now, for those of you who are new to this format, allow me to explain. I run a small tourism business based here in central Portugal, and I'm really interested in finding about other business owners and entrepreneurs and learning their stories. The highs, the lows, the challenges and the rewards of running a business in this amazing country. So why don't you join me and the girls as we explore Portugal and meet some interesting and entrepreneurial people. Today we have travelled to Cara Creek Eco Lodge and we're going to meet Ashley and Rory and find out their story. Hi Ashley and Rory, thank you for taking the time to talk with us today. Why don't you start by introducing yourselves and describing your business?
I'm Rory.
I'm Ashley. And together we have built Cara Creek Eco Lodge, which is a sustainably built off-grid retreat center on the Rio Seia in central Portugal, just where it meets the Mondego River.
When did you come to Portugal?
We came to Portugal in January of 2017 after first visiting together in August of 2016. And within a few weeks found the property and started kind of developing our plans.
But it took a year to actually buy the property. We done a promissory contract and it took about 10 months to get the boundaries legalised and everything up to speed.
Why did you choose Portugal?
Mostly the people, the friendly and welcoming people is really what drew us in, and we definitely haven't been disappointed with how we've been received by the community. I think the sense of community is what draws so many people to Portugal. It's lacking in so many parts of the world, and it still is really alive here. So that was a big draw.
The weather.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the weather for sure.
And affordability as well. We got together in Guatemala, it's where I used to live, and so the weather was important. We wanted to move to Europe, and so the option was Portugal or Ireland, so the weather won out really.
Did you always plan on starting this type of business in Portugal?
Yeah, something like this, the ideas developed. Yeah, we had a kind of an idea that Ashley was going to teach yoga and we're going to do a retreat centre and I was going to do most of the construction. That was the general idea, but I suppose the project's kind of developed and told us a lot. Yeah,
we knew moving here that we had to generate some sort of income for ourselves as well, so that and we wanted to move here and do something that we both enjoyed. So those two things played a part in what route we have taken.
Yeah.
Has your business been well received by the local community?
Yeah. I'd say like in the local village they have like taken us in. You know, we came here, we didn't know anybody. So I'd say that. Maybe like the sale of yoga in this area is a bit harder because you're kind of a lot of the time selling the idea of yoga and yoga here. It's not just,
Yeah, I did start teaching yoga in Portuguese initially in the local village before we had space down here to teach yoga, and it was pretty well received, but if it's not in their village, they don't really want to make the trek down here. And then I found more and more that there was a lot of local foreigners that were more interested in making the trek down here. The Portuguese people that do come to my classes are never disappointed that they came, and even though it's their home and their local environment, I think because they're in the village or in the town working, they're like, oh wow, this is so close by and it's so beautiful, and it reminds them just how beautiful the area is, which is nice. But
And you do have private Portuguese clients.
yeah, I have a lot of private yoga clients that I do house calls and do yoga with them, and that has been really well received. But it's kind of getting them out of their comfort zones a little bit sometimes.
Yeah. So as for the yoga, for the Wim Hof retreats that are held here, there seems to be more of an uptake from people from the cities mostly, from Lisbon and Porto.
Yeah.
For quite a few Portuguese people. But yeah.
The last couple of years have been somewhat challenging. How have you coped and adapted to the circumstances?
I suppose coped. I think we counted our blessings every day that we were here. As crazy as the world was, we still had to get up and chop wood and do whatever.
Yeah, our day-to-day didn't change that much.
Yeah, but
really.
not saying that it didn't.
It affected us for sure.
And I think early on, we kind of decided that we'd try to develop more again and develop the property more and take the opportunity. Didn't think it was going to be 2 years, but
yeah, we didn't develop the tourism side as much as the expansion and making we built the sauna and finished the hot tub and kind of things that might have been put on the back burner if we were more busy with retreats. We just said, right, let's just crack on with this. And I focus much more on local community yoga when it was possible and when it was allowed. But because we do a lot outside, that helped. I opened up day retreats, which I don't think we would have necessarily thought of before. But in the summer of 2020, when things did start to open up locally, there wasn't as much tourism, but there was a lot of people just looking to get out and do stuff. So I started doing day retreats where it's like a full day, includes a massage and all your meals and yoga class and workshop. So that took off quite.
yeah, it did. So it's still very popular.
Yeah, among both people that are visiting the area and just local people who just want a day to veg out and relax. So, yeah.
Do you have any future plans for the business?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a never-ending development.
It'll never be finished. But I think now we're at the stage where we have a lot of retreats booked this year, so hopefully, and we'll have 14 rooms for 21 beds, so that's kind of the top end of where we ever want to be. We talked about having a capacity of 16, but once you include volunteers and other people who want to bring retreats, so I think for capacity, that's where we're at. Obviously, always the land needs clearing and
landscaping and an indoor yoga studio, which will be ready for this season.
and then further down the line to build our own house. We have a ruin that we want to build another house on, but we've been busy, so I think we could maybe just take a little bit of a break. Yeah.
And finally, do you have any advice for anybody thinking of moving to Portugal and starting a business?
I suppose this is the only business that I know, or construction and this kind of business. And although you need to have a good understanding of like pumps and electricity and everything that goes on, it's also very important for me not to try to be an expert in everything. And that's where trades come in very useful. It's been very good for me, and it's a good way. It's a good break for me. I'll do some carpentry for a friend. It's a nice break to get away from the Quinta, and then I have a friend who comes with electrics, and yeah, it's nice to trade within the community. And although you need to have an understanding of everything, maybe if there's something you don't enjoy, it makes things a bit easier to trade with somebody who does.
Mm-hmm. And also having patience with the bureaucracy, like it's pretty never ending, and just like in an ideal world, everything would be sorted before and yeah, everything will be sorted in its time frame that you want it to be sorted, but it never is. So just like having a bit of patience and remembering that maybe part of the reason why we love living here is because of the slower pace, and just reminding yourself of that every now and again, because sometimes it can feel frustrating, but then it's like, oh wait, this is what I like about living here, is the slowness and the laid backness and yeah of the culture. So just kind of taking a breath and being like, right, we'll just do the best we can within the state of the bureaucratic system right now. Yeah, whether you're, you know, building your own house or trying to build a business, it does feel frustrating at times, but...
That was great. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us today. How can people find out more about Cara Creek?
So Cara Creek Eco Lodge.com. We have all of our upcoming retreats listed and information about the 200-hour yoga teacher training that I facilitate every year. Our Instagram is always a good place to see more frequent updates of kind of day-to-day what's going on. And Facebook, we list all of our workshops, events, and retreats as well.
Well, thank you very much.
Thanks.
So a big thank you to Ashley and Rory from Cara Creek Eco Lodge for hosting us and giving us a really enlightening day out. We wish them all the best for the future. And also thanks to Portugal Living magazine for making this all possible. Please like and subscribe to their YouTube channel. Well, I hope you enjoyed the show, and I hope you will join us again next time as we'll be exploring some new frontiers.